On News Express, ASUU urges government to halt creation of new universities, fix existing ones. In business, Pension Commission targets 80 million informal workers through personal pension plan. On the foreign scene, Nigeria-Mali pledge a stronger bilateral ties to fight insecurity. In sports, CAF announces free e-visas for fans attending AFCON Morocco 2025. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now the news in full. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, Akure Zone, has accused the federal government of misrepresenting the status of negotiation with the union, adding that newly established universities are mere crisis centers. Addressing journalists on the campus of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Osun State, the ASUU Akure Zonal Coordinator, Professor Adeola Agbedokun, said that despite the 7-year moratorium placed by the federal government on the establishment of new universities, it still went ahead to announce new institutions. It was a day of cheers and political realignment in the House of Representatives as former lawmakers and key political figures from Kano, Abdulmumin Jibrin and Sagi Koki, officially announced their defection from the New Nigerian People's Party, NNPP, to the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC. A National Assembly correspondent, Aniete Patrick, reports that move has stirred excitement within the APC fold, especially among party loyalists from Kano State. Now the report.
The announcements came during plenary at the House of Representatives, a moment that sparked jubilation among members of the ruling All Progressives Congress. Reading the letter on the floor, a visibly elated speaker, Tajuddin Abbas, described Abdulmumin Jibrin as a man of principle, one who calls a spade a spade. In his letter, Jibrin cited lingering divisions and unresolved internal crisis within the NNPP as reasons for his defection. He said the development had made it nearly impossible for him to effectively represent the people of Kiru Bebeji Federal Constituency in the House.
I wish to formally inform you and the entire honorable house of my decision to resign my membership from the New Nigerian People's Party and to join the All Progressive Congress APC with immediate effect.
The declaration triggered chants of solidarity and applause from APC lawmakers and drew notable reactions from party stalwarts watching closely from Kano. Among those celebrating the move is former APC national chairman and now the chairman of FAN board, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, who described Jibrin's return as a homecoming of value and loyalty.
As part of our blueprint to make Kano State a one-party state, we have continued taking House of Representative members and senators into our party.
The defection adds to the growing wave of political shifts in Kano ahead of 2027, signaling renewed momentum for the APC in the state. From the National Assembly, Aniete Patrick reporting for Global TV News.
A minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, says he has great respect for the Nigerian military, but their operations must remain within the confine of the law. His comment followed a recent confrontation with a naval officer over a disputed land in Gadoa district of Abuja. Kabir Hassan has details.
It was a tense exchange between officials of the Federal Capital Territory Administration and a naval officer, Ahmed Yerima. an incident that stirred fresh debates about land ownership and authorities in the nation's capital. Clarifying the matter, FCT Minister Nyesom Wike says the military has no documented ownership of the disputed land and that impunity or unlawful conduct, even by government officials, will not be tolerated.
We can never succeed if we continue to allow impunity, lawlessness. No country, no matter how hard you work, you allow impunity, you allow lawlessness to continue to prevail, that country will never go anywhere.
The minister commended former leaders and retired generals of their discipline and civility in resolving issues through dialogue rather than force. He believes that controversy may have been fueled by political opponents unhappy with the style of leadership, but reaffirmed his commitment to President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda on the ongoing development of the FCT.
I respect the institutions, and I know what it takes. Even as a governor, no governor will say that they supported the military more than me.
The minister emphasizes that his administration will continue to enforce the law in ensuring that all development in the Federal Capital Territory follow due process. Kabir Hassan reporting for Global TV News.
The Senate has taken a significant step towards modernizing the country's military legal framework. The Senate passed for second reading a bill aimed at appealing and reenacting the Armed Forces Act within the updated provisions to align with Nigeria's constitutional and security realities. The bill, sponsored by Senator Abdulaziz Yaradua, seeks to establish a modern, constitutionally compliant, and operationally responsive legal framework for the Armed Forces of Nigeria. Topsy Gimba reports.
Senator Yaradua explained during plenary that the current Armed Forces Act dates back to military decrees of the 1960s, last consolidated in 2004, and no longer meets today's demands. He emphasized the need to align military governance with democratic accountability and to modernize disciplinary procedures.
Many democracies, Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, including the United States, United Kingdom, and South Africa, have modernized their military laws to ensure justice, accountability, and professionalism. Nigeria cannot afford to lag behind. This bill therefore places our military legal system in step with global best practices.
Senator Ali Ndume from Borno South lends his support, describing the reform as long overdue.
This is what this bill is trying to do, to update the laws, subject the armed forces to civil rule, and also improve on human rights, protection, and others, and efficiency.
Senator Tahir Munguno called the bill a necessary move to bring military authorities under democratic control, while Senator Samson Ekong of Akwa Ibom South called it a profound step to deepen the nation's defense policy framework.
Seeks to subject military authorities to the command of the commander-in-chief, that is democratically elected president.
Robert Wits behind this bill as part of a wider process of reform that will deepen the contents of our military law and jurisprudence.
Deputy Senate President Barrow Jibril, who presided over the session, put the bill to a voice vote. He later referred it to the relevant committees on Defense, Army, Air Force, and Navy, directing them to report back within 4 weeks. The bill now awaits further committee review before advancing to the next legislative stage. Topsy Gemba reporting for Global Television News.
The House of Representatives has raised two urgent national issues. One, on the looming concern over WAEC's planned computer-based testing system, and another on massive revenue leakage from tax waivers and incentives. The House now resolved to investigate both matters, citing their potential impact on the nation's youth and economy. Here is Anita Patrick's report.
Lawmakers expressed alarm over the plan by the West African Examinations Council, WAEC, to introduce computer-based testing for the 2026 examinations. They warned that the move could lead to massive failure among students, especially those from the rural areas with limited access to computers or stable electricity, potentially triggering depression and other mental health concerns. The House therefore resolved to urge WAEC to suspend the plan and adopt a gradual transition model, ensuring the schools and candidates are adequately prepared before any full rollout.
House is also aware that most of the schools in the urban areas and in the rural areas do not have functional computers, nor computer teachers, and us, as a result, they have not used computers before.
In another motion, members turned their attention to the nation's revenue crisis, revealing that Nigeria loses over 8 trillion naira annually through tax incentives, waivers, and exemptions. They said the abuse of these incentives by some companies and the mismanagement by government agencies are starving the country of funds needed for infrastructure, healthcare, and education. The House consequently resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to probe the administration of tax waivers and exemptions granted between 2015 and 2025 and recommend reforms to plug leakages and improve transparency.
The House resolves to constitute an ad hoc committee to investigate the administration and impact of tax waivers, exemptions, and incentives granted by the government between 2015 and 2025.
Two motions, one House, both pointing to the need for fairness and accountability from the classroom to the nation's treasury. From the National Assembly, Anie T. Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
About vote buying continue to dominate conversations as Nigeria edges closer to future elections. Many citizens say the practice is now more brazen and needs urgent attention. Global television correspondent Zarau Nasir reports on growing public frustration and the call for stronger action.
Vote buying is an election campaign violation that occurs in many countries, which undermines the integrity of electoral processes and is detrimental to democratic governance.
On the streets of Abuja, Nigerians are voicing deep worry over the rising trend of vote buying. To many, it is no longer a hidden practice but an open transaction that places personal gain above national interest. Those who spoke to Global TV described the act as a deliberate attempt by politicians to exploit citizens' economic challenges for selfish political advantage. They are urging voters to understand their rights, resist inducements, and protect the value of their votes.
The problem we have is we, the poor masses, or we, the people, we don't know even our rights. Because if I know my rights, you can't buy my vote. As a youth, sometimes hunger, we forget what will happen next than what will just happen now.
Stopping it, well, it depends. Nigerian politics is one politics that we don't know how to fix it. But the politicians, they know what to do about this. They should stop vote buying and let's be civil in whatever thing we are doing.
Our politicians are the most selfish set of people, and I don't think in the nearest future they will be willing to change. It's an attitudinal thing.
James Ogochukwu, Regional Executive General Secretary of the West African Civil Society Forum, says the persistence of vote buying is tied to poverty and worsening economic hardship. He explains that unless citizens are properly sensitized, especially at the grassroots, vote buying will continue to thrive.
Because a lot of Nigeria actually this depraved. If they know that they can get money that can buy them food for that particular day, or can even give them food for some couple of days, actually they will be susceptible to that kind of vote buying.
He also emphasized that security agencies must remain neutral and courageous enough to go after anyone involved in the act. According to him, credible elections cannot be achieved if law enforcement is compromised or selective in its operations. Zarau Nasir, reporting for Global TV News.
It was an atmosphere of nostalgia, laughter, and heartfelt connection as the federal government Girls College FGGC Owerri Old Girls Association class of 1980, fondly called the Vivacious Icons, held their grand reunion and anniversary celebration.
It was a colorful homecoming for proud alumni of FGGC Owerri, class of 1980, who converged to mark the 45th anniversary since graduating from one of Nigeria's foremost unity schools. The class of 1980, who are fondly called Vivacious Icons, celebrated the legacy of the college in shaping accomplished women in leadership, education, public service, and enterprise across the country and beyond. The president of the Old Girls Association class of 1980, Carol Alex Uzoma, described the reunion as a moment of gratitude and rededication to the values of discipline, unity, and excellence that define the FGGC spirit.
We are here for our global reunion. Our girls are coming from all over the world for our shared memories, for what we hold dear, for what Federal Government Girls College will relate to us. Built us up, that we are proud citizens of Nigeria, proud Nigerians. When we think of Nigeria, we represent Nigeria.
Some of the Old Girls class of 1980 women took turns to reintroduce themselves to express how they feel about the reunion.
Whatever you see today, the woman I have become, the foundation started in FGGC. That I cannot take away. Wow. I give credit to my alma mater. What I am today is actually what I gained from my alma mater, the foundation of my education, the foundation of my career as a corporate person, and the woman I am today. I actually benefited from that, from my alma mater.
The events include sharing fond memories, plans for their upcoming election as it ends with joy and celebration. With 45 years behind them, the Old Girls of Federal Government Girls College class of 1980 says their mission continues to inspire the next generation of women leaders and to preserve the proud heritage of the FGGC family. Ogochukwu Mobono reporting for Global Television News.
Of News Express. When News Express returns, Nigeria and Mali pledge stronger bilateral ties to tackle insecurity. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Let's quickly take you to the world of business, where the National Pension Commission is renewing efforts to expand pension coverage across Nigeria, with a new plan designed to bring millions of informal workers into the retirement savings system. At the Pension Correspondents Association of Nigeria Annual Conference in Abuja, PENCON outlined a strategy to capture nearly 80 million Nigerians through its revamped personal pension plan. Business correspondent Kikelomo Okere takes it from here.
For years, Nigerians' pension coverage has remained heavily skewed towards the formal sector, leaving a vast majority of workers artisans, traders, farmers, and freelancers without any structure for retirement. Speaking at the annual conference of the Pension Correspondents Association of Nigeria in Abuja, the Director General of PENCOM, Omolola Oloworanran, who was represented by the Head of Corporate Communication at PENCOM, Ibrahim Buwai, reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to ensuring that every Nigerian, regardless of employment status, can look forward to secure retirement. She noted that Nigerian workforce is largely informal, yet this group remains severely undercovered.
Today, we reaffirm our commitment to ensuring that every Nigerian, whether formally employed or not, has the opportunity for a secure and dignified old age.
PENCOM says the new pension plan came from the need to redesign the old micro-pension scheme and make it more flexible, digital and inclusive, ensuring that people with irregular incomes can register easily and contribute at their own pace, noting that the new framework offers simplified registration, mobile-based contribution channels, and flexible saving options. PENCOM believes this innovation will encourage millions who previously saw pension as complicated or inaccessible to come on board.
What the personal pension plan has done is that it now brings even the voluntary contributions segment that the formal sector employees hitherto made under the formal CPS. Those contributions will now be captured under the personal pension plan. And the idea really is to offer more flexibility.
Earlier, the President, Pension Correspondents Association of Nigeria, Nana Musa, says there is need for public awareness, trust building, and technology-driven systems to deepen participation nationwide. Musa commended ongoing reform but insists that only sustained engagement, education, and policy support will convince millions of informal workers to embrace pension savings.
Dedicated to deepening public understanding of pension matters, we believe in closing this gap is central to achieving sustainable social security, reducing poverty, and promoting inclusive growth.
With the new plans, pension hopes to grow long-term savings, strengthen financial inclusion, and secure the future of millions of Nigerians who currently have no retirement support structure. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
The presidential nominee for co-championship position on the board of Unclaimed Funds Trust Fund, Obehi Adesua Okafor, has assured the Senate of productive investment of the fund if her appointment is confirmed. The nominee gave the assurance during her screening by the Senate Committees on Finance, Banking, Insurance, and other financial institutions. The Senate Committee on Public Account has written to all commercial banks to provide details for the revenue generated as stamped duty from 2016 to 2024. Senator Aliyu Wadada stated this during news briefing in Abuja. Topsy Gimba has the details.
Senator Ali Wadada said the committee has written to all commercial banks, including the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, as well as Federal Inland Revenue Service, to provide information about stamp duty collected from 2016 to 2024. He said this step was taken to enable the federal government to have more funds to execute programs in the country. He said the affected banks have up to 25th of this month to provide details. He disclosed that the involvement of CBN is to explain how much has been collected from those commercial banks and how much has been remitted into the Treasury Single Account TSA.
Had a meeting and looked into the commitment of this administration as to generating and maximizing revenue so abilities effectively to provide for the needs of the citizens of the country.
Topsy Gimba, reporting for Global Television News.
2025 Local Organizing Committee has announced that fans traveling to the tournament will be eligible for free electronic visas. The governing body said the announcement comes amid growing global demand for Africa's biggest football event, with more fans booking tickets. The policy befits citizens of countries that normally require a visa to enter Morocco. As Global TV News Express comes to an end, here is a recap of our top stories. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, Akure Zone, has accused the federal government of misrepresenting the status of negotiation with the union, adding that newly established universities are mere crisis centers. And in business, the National Pension Commission is renewing efforts to expand pension coverage across Nigeria, with a new plan designed to bring millions of informal workers into the retirement savings system. And on the foreign scene, Nigeria and Mali have reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening bilateral relations and addressing regional security threats. And finally, from the world of sport, the Confederation of African Football and the AFCON Morocco 2025 Local Organizing Committee has announced that fans traveling to the tournament will be eligible for free electronic visas. That's it on News Express. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV. NG, I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.